Welcome back to another market closing live stream. It is Friday, which means we have 2 days of quiet time ahead of us. 2 days of no market open or no market close live stream. 2 days of not exactly sure what Kevin's going to do. Is Kevin going to relapse and go back to coffee? I don't know. It's been 11 days. And I'll tell you, even though I got over the pain, the withdrawal pain, I kind of miss my coffee, okay? I'm just saying. I don't know. I just miss it. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here in the market. After we figure out what the heck is going on in the market, we'll go look at the news. Let's see how this Friday is ending up. All right, folks. Let's do the usual here. Zoom out on the 1 minute chart just so we can get a nice view of the day. There we go. Nah, that'll do. Something like that'll work. Okay, so you know what? Make a little bit more room too. There we go. Then we can maybe we could get the whole day on here. Almost the whole day on there. It doesn't matter so much. All right, let's. By the way, if you like this app, this is Webull, which you can get 2 free stocks with when you deposit $100 by going to mekevin.com/Webull. All right, Arcturus down 5.4%, Intel down 5.2%, Hydrofarm down 5.4%. By the way, Hydrofarm, they provide irrigation and, what do they call it? The hydroponics and things like that for plants. Not necessarily marijuana, but this certainly includes marijuana. A lot of folks see Hydrofarm as a potential cannabis play, though the stock has had quite a ride. Today, it seems like it was higher in the day, kind of fell down. But if we go out to the day chart here on Hydrofarm, you can see this thing had its peak media here somewhere around Feb 19th, which was really the top of the market, right? Everything's really consolidated down since there. But you could see some consistent enthusiasm in Hydrofarm before this sort of recent decline here in the last couple months. It's crazy to believe that this madness has been going on for 2 months, and some of these the SPAC sell-off and the higher multiple sell-off. Nikola down 2.5% after yesterday's euphoric sort of ride up. Ended up about 10% yesterday, as the company suggested, no, we are no longer Scamla. We are actually Nikola. Let's see here. Somebody's asking about playing Rust. I would love to I should just do like a mass shout out in the Discord going, okay, let's all meet on this server tonight at like 6 p.m. or something like that. I think that'd be kind of fun, but I don't know if anybody would actually show up to that. It's just create a massive village and go zerg people in Rust. Anyway, American Express down 1.59%. Really kind of surprising. The credit card data trends and revenues not as high as expected. It really would expect to see some beats here in credit card usage as we begin and continue to reopen. It's not even begin anymore. It's more continue to reopen. So expected better out of American Express. We'll see how that evolves. Beyond Meat's really been stuck at 131. This has been literally no news for, I don't know, the past, I feel like 5 sitting around 130. I mean, there are these weird moments. It goes to 190 for a day and then it comes back. See, look at this. Look, it's so crazy. See this little range that I drew right here? I cannot keep this. There we go. I'll put it right there. It's a little ear thing. But anyway, take a look. I drew this range. I don't even remember when I drew it. I know I drew it at least 2 months ago. So before the latest fall. But anyway, I drew this range and I'm like, Beyond Meat sits in this range. That's what it is. It's just range bound. I wouldn't be surprised if I drew it when we were somewhere over here, kind of looking back. And look at this range. We always seem to bounce between this range of 120 to 140. That's your Beyond Meat range. And then you get these euphoric runs where it goes to 200 almost, 190. Look at that. It spiked up to 221. The thing always comes back to the box. Respect the box. It's weird. Yeah, maybe I should just take both lines and move them up a little bit. Or you know what? We'll move them down a little bit, create a buying opportunity, and then we'll move the box up. So, all right. All right. So what else do we have here? Palantir, Neogang. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what other stocks we've got here. Activision, 0.72%. Workhorse, 0.5% on the downside. Piton's only down 0.5%. Was down a little bit more today. Piton, Netflix also kind of been trending down a little bit the last few days here. actually each of the last 3 days here since their earnings. We've got Coinbase has kind of been stuck right around 294 today, which is pretty dang close to its lows. We did get down to 282 today. This 293, though, is something that's really been rubber banding around throughout most of the day. We were looking at this in the course member live stream as well. Seems to be really stuck around here. So Wynn Resorts, Abbott Cost, these guys kind of flat here. Penn National Gaming, 90. Target up 0.5%, up 0.6% on Macy's. BTC coming back. Look at that, over 50,000 again after talking the plummet under 50K. It's now currently at 50,600. We'll have to go see. I really think the news was just overblown yesterday with the Biden tax plan, and because you pay taxes, capital gains taxes on Bitcoin as well, it's not a surprise to have seen a little bit of that sell-off that we did. It was a good sell-off, though, I have to say. I mean, Ethereum, Bitcoin, any kind of high-running, high-flying assets, they're the ones that have really been a little poopy-doopy. Hold on a second. What is this about real estate outperforming the S&P?
Real estate world happen to be some of the names that you just mentioned here. American Tower, wireless cellular infrastructure. Prologis, a big owner of warehouse space. Think fulfillment centers. Crown Castle, also wireless infrastructure, and Equinix is an owner of data centers and co-location centers. Many folks who are involved in high-speed trading on Wall Street know what that's all about. Now, if you take a look at the best performing ones so far, a handful of them are helping to really lead the way higher. Simon Property is a retail. Yes, brick and mortar retail has surged back from the pandemic lows. Simon Property owns high-end malls. Iron Mountain, you know them, document management. They do a lot more data management.
I can't say Simon Property owns high-end malls. Come on, folks. The Sawgrass Mills Outlet Mall ain't high-end, okay? And the Simon Property Group owns them. This is pretty sure, unless I screwed that up. But yeah, I mean, real estate, commercial real estate is a sector that just got destroyed last year. So is it a surprise that during the reopening, the real estate sector is doing better? No, not a surprise at all. Not a surprise. Do I want to invest in commercial real estate? Also, not really. Okay, not jumping up and down about jumping into commercial real estate. Multifamily. Give me some big multifamily. Sure, I'll take that. Bitcoin continuing its march up here. So you can see this nice march up from about 49K to 50,700 right now. Trying to recover, just like the broader market seems to be here. Dropbox sitting at $26. Kind of a newer, higher rubber band there. It used to be stuck around like $23. Now it seems to be stuck around 26. At least it's an uptrend. Simon Property Group 116. They were just talking about them on CNBC. Home Depot went positive on the day. We've got up just 1.0%. We've got Tesla up 1.34. That's not certainly not highs of the day. Tesla was at one point up over 2%. Let's see when that was. Zoom out a little bit. Look at the day chart here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you can see Tesla ran up to about 737. Yesterday we hit about 734, but right now it's still stuck in that 720 range. Really rubber banding a lot around these 720s. You see it go to 710, goes back to the 720s, goes to 740, 750, 777, comes right back down to the 720s. Really stuck. I always like thinking about the kind of like a stick and then like a tether ball. You know, when you're looking at some of these stocks and the values kind of get thrown around the tether, but the tether ball, moving the tether ball, that's what you want. So they own Dadeland Mall in Miami and Southland Mall. There you go. I'm watching them all on treadmill. Don't say anything to make me fall off. Oh dear. Hope it's not a Peloton. I mean, hopefully it is. I don't know. What else do we have here? Obviously a supporter of Peloton here, just to make that clear. DocuSign up 1.47%. This is one that always tetherballs above 200. When you see DocuSign under 200, you know buy, because this thing always rebounds back over 200. At least consistently, that's been history. I mean, who knows about the future? So Amazon, 3,300. I mean, look, okay, all right, 3,300. It's better than where it was a little bit ago. It was down to like 3,000 there for a moment. Apple down. Apple actually up 2% here. Airbnb 2%. Google 2.2%. Nordstrom's up. So you got kind of big tech, the recovery. I really think at this point, these recovery stocks don't really have a clear trade anymore. Like it's not like, Oh, all the recoveries up today. When's the last time we've really seen like all recovery move together? What, like February or something like that? It's been very, very mixed. Like sometimes you got the cruise lines up, but the airlines are down, and then vice versa. It's a disaster. But the whole like recovery sector, a lot of it I feel like has gone to its higher levels, and now it's just a matter of may the best one actually win and finish the race. Etsy back to 215, was 215 this morning, pulled back down to around 211 during the course member live stream. Remember looking at that, and right back to 215 here. Got Ubiquity sitting around that 290 again. We got Arcimoto's finally seeing a tiny little bit of love here, 3.8%. I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to the sell-off that it's had. Neo 41 slowly getting back to that tether ball, or tether, I should say, that tether spot of 45. I stopped buying Neo once we hit 45. Obviously, we've been napping over in like that 33 to 38 range quite a while. I'd say 38's kind of been where that tether has been. So we'll see. The big question now is this sort of newness here a potential bull trap? And this is something that a lot of folks are worried about, is that, hey, maybe we got ourselves another bull trap. And quite frankly, if you zoom out over most stocks just over the last, since February, let's go to February. February 19th is kind of where a lot of things peaked out. Etsy did have a run. I'm not sure if this was right around when Elon Musk tweeted support for them. That could have been one of these other high points here. But most of the market has seen this plummet into early March, this rise in mid-March, plummet in late March, recovery, plummet, and slowly seeing that recovery again. We're really kind of doing the, what's it called, the accordion, and quite frankly, it's a little annoying. So what else do we have here? Pinterest 3.7%, Lemonade 3.8%, Yelp back to $40. Jeez. Enphase almost 4% here, almost at that 170 level. Still a bargain in my opinion. It's been trickling up here a little bit. Matterport kind of back to where my basis is on the darn thing, like 1320 or 1330 or something like that. Anyway, yeah, we had a mega dip there, down to what, like 1150 or something like that. Part of the SPAC attack. Tattooed coming back, also got buried in a SPAC attack disaster Friday and earlier this week, Monday, Tuesday. Real SPAC disaster. You've got American Airlines up 5%, Spirit's up 5%. Hey, the airlines are seeing some love today. Good. Big Digital seeing love. We've actually seen a U-turn, I've noticed, in the Bitcoin plays. The miners too. Let's see here. Riot started the day out down 6%. Right now, Riot blockchain is unfindable right now. Where's the darn thing? Okay, well, I don't know where Riot and Marathon went, but we will get to the bottom of where they are. I promise you, we will find these stocks. They are on here somewhere. That's it. Even if we have to sort by name, we're going to find them. There it is. Riot up 4.58%, and Marathon, let's see, they should be up as well. They tend to trade with Riot. Yep, about 3.9% here. So similar moves in these two. What else? Let's go to the winners. So the epic winners today, certainly Mind Medicine, on news of it jumping on over to the NASDAQ, which is an uplisting. It's basically when you're going from the over-the-counter markets, the OTCs, over to the NASDAQ. And it's really a sign of not only having the money to pay to list on the NASDAQ, but a sign that the NASDAQ believes the company has a strong future. And this is not just some penny stock that's going to go to zero. Otherwise, the NASDAQ would be less likely to list them. So I think that's you've got an endorsement by NASDAQ. But beyond uplisting and maybe being tradable as of the 27th on Webull and Robinhood and things like that, beyond that, nothing's really fundamentally changed at Mind Medicine. But you can clearly see the epic euphoria that we have here with a 63% increase just on the day here at Mind Medicine. Gosh, you could have bought it this morning while it was up 30%, and you would have been up another 30%. So then we got Microvision up a 36%, also an incredible run. When we go out to the day chart, though, you can see that Microvision is prone to these very brief run-up periods followed by downtrends. And so keep that in mind. how high we go. We've had, obviously, here was a mega run up. We had a solid downtrend here. We can almost average this together here. Uptrend, downtrend, little uptrend, downtrend, uptrend. And this has kind of been par for the course with Microvision. So just know that if you're sitting on big tendies with Microvision, especially if you have shorter term call options, you might consider looking at least maybe closing out some of your call options, sell some of your call options. You got 12 minutes left in the day. I would sell my call options if I had short-term calls on Micro right now. And if I was still bullish on the stock, I would potentially wait for a red day to buy back some calls. But at the very least, I would extend my time frame and buy some longer-term calls. I would, even if it's green again tomorrow, I would probably ring the bell on this one at 36% on short-term calls if I had them. Luminar up 17% here. Also had a substantial downtrend here, really finally moving up again at $22. This puts us right around pricing we had 2 weeks ago. So really also just gotten buried in this whole newer company, newer listing mess. You see the same thing with NGA, ChargePoint coming back off those bottoms. ChargePoint hitting those lows just 3 days ago at $19.04, up $5 at this point, which is a pretty substantial move to the upside. I mean, it's a 25% move to the upside over the last few days. Very good. Gevo's another one of those that people look at as, oh, maybe this one will do the Microvision. And mostly because we have seen this run up to 16, something like that. And earnings for Microvision next week. Remember, Microvision's generally pushing to try to get acquired or to find a manufacturing partner. I really don't understand why they don't just start selling their product without trying to get acquired. Oh, well. All right, let's listen to CNBC for a moment.
100. Just around those levels right now, which, Chris, is also interestingly break even for the week on the S&P 500. It looks like it was going to be a bumpy one. We got the cap gains news, which the market didn't take well. And here we are, rebounding strongly into the close. What's driving it?
Yeah, you certainly have to tip your hat to the market here. In a week where the news wasn't that great, to respond at the end of the week and go out at the highs, I think is certainly impressive. With pretty good breadth, too. You're about 5-1 on the upside today. I think the bigger picture question that investors need to ask themselves, though, is, today's the 13-month anniversary off the low. When you look at the other two examples where we've seen markets rally this magnitude in that first year off the low, off the 82 low and off the 2010 low, that this is about when the market began to pause. So just going into a weaker seasonal period, I do want to take my foot off the gas here just a little bit, knowing what the historical comps tell us.
American Express shares under pressure after a revenue miss. Kate Rooney's got those details for us. Hi, Kate.
Hey, Wilf, a slump in travel and entertainment spending on American Express cards overshadowing some better than expected earnings. Amex revenues did miss. I spoke to CFO Jeffrey Campbell this morning. He highlighted strength in goods and services, as well as online and e-commerce spending and domestic travel and entertainment. He says, quote, finally hitting an inflection point. In March, for example, global spending on travel and entertainment was up 40% versus February. But international restrictions are still hurting those lucrative cross-border payments. He says Amex will likely get back to pre-pandemic earnings by early 2022, but business travel could take a lot longer. Guys, back to you.
Kate, thanks so much for that one. Sylvia, what's your take here on Amex?
So, Amex is expected to have a 15% drop in EPS and also a drop in revenues. They beat there, which was really good. They got a bump in earnings because of the $1 billion of credit loss write-off. They signed up 2 million users. They have the Cabbage program, signed up 14 million new vendors in China. They're getting into crypto with Falcon X. But overall, consumer spending was up 11% minus T&E. I think that when borders reopen, travel picks up, entertainment picks up, they get a lot of that money back. I think it's actually on sale. I think it's a good buy now. And the reopen and, sort of continuous good news around vaccines, stimulus checks, consumer spending, retail sales in March were just absolutely outrageous. So I would think that will benefit Amex this year. They're up 22% year to date, 75% year over year. I do like the stock here.
It was a tough quarter for consumer products giant Kimberly-Clark. That stock's sinking today after reporting a quarterly miss on both the top and bottom lines, also lowered guidance. The maker of Huggies diapers and Scott's toilet paper delivered its worst sales performance in at least a decade, citing inflation, continued shutdowns, and fallout from consumers hoarding.
Yeah, the mills are getting destroyed too, not just supply chains, but yeah, you certainly are seeing some supply cost increases here. I'm gonna jump and take a quick peek over at the Bloomberg term here. I want to specifically look at the 10-year because the 10-year is really our gauge for what is the market actually thinking about inflation. And remember when we had this insane rise here, I said this is a joke. Like this is an overblown rise in inflation expectations. And we are seeing that sort of trickle down. So I'm really happy to see that we're on this downtrend. I think it could still take a while, though. Remember, buckle up for volatility. That's what I'm expecting for at least the next 4 to 5 months here. But I do hope this downtrend in the 10-year Treasury continues. So if we get to top news here, let's see here what we got in top news. We got SPACs start adding caveats to statements following SEC warnings. There you go. Look at that. The SPACs are taking their own or coming up with their own solutions to appease the SEC before the SEC comes in and tries to beat down the SPACs. So very good. This is why also on Friday, I'm like or actually it was a Sunday video. On Sunday, which you would have had plenty of opportunity on Monday, Tuesday, I'm like, these SPACs, there's an opportunity in them. This is overblown. Peak fear, peak uncertainty usually leads to opportunities. Certainly, we've seen that. I mean, Microvision was down to like $8 or something like that. It was nuts. Anyway, what else do we have here? Elon Musk, SpaceX moved closer to approval for lower orbits. Good. Maybe that'll help with Starlink. Actually, I'm pretty sure that'll help with Starlink. Let's see here. Here's some opinion articles. Okay, so really not terribly much going on right now. We'll certainly look at the sticks. We got the closing coming up in about 4 minutes. Mind Medicine continuing its run. Would anybody be interested if I interviewed the CEO of Mind Medicine? I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure how many of you are interested in that, but yeah. So then we got Microvision up 36%, Luminar, Playboy. Let's see. Affirm's up 8%, Clever's up 7%, XL Fleet. Okay, a lot of these pretty much in a similar position as to where we have been. Luminar ticking up a little bit more here into the close. Let's go to the minute chart here. Yeah, it's trying to at least. Trying to. Gevo up 9%. You know what we should do? Oh wow, okay, yeah, lots of you interested in I'm actually surprised. A lot of you interested in the interview with Mindman. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Okay, Coinbase falling again a little bit, 291 here. Why don't we go ahead and pull up short interest data here? We don't have a lot of time, but we may as well just pull it up here really quick. Let's just do, let's focus on maybe what we think is actually going to be highly shorted. So I would say things like SPACs. SPACs have been highly shorted lately. Let's see what things are really shorted. I want to start with Microvision to see if possibly what we saw today was a short squeeze, which if it was, we want to keep an eye on the a potential dump thereafter. Remember, Rocket Mortgage had a short squeeze. The darn thing plummeted pretty soon after. So yeah, 18% short on Microvision. What do y'all got? Coin? I don't think Coin has many shorts out yet. Yeah, I think it's too early to tell on Coin. So I have somebody says heavily shorted. Well, that doesn't help me know which symbol you're talking about. Let's see what else we got here. ACIC. ACIC is at 9.36. Let's get Shift out of the way. 12%. Let's get CCIV in here. 14.25%. And going down too. Saw that I don't know if you actually saw it, but there was a plummet on the short interest there on CCAV. Matterport actually not as short, only 3% short. It's kind of incredible. Check Wrap. I don't even know what that is. Wrap Technologies is 14.56. Skills is one that's been running hardcore. Oops, that's not how you do it. The ticker symbol. What is it? What's the ticker? Isn't it something like this? There it is. Yeah, 20.5% short. Let's do. What was the one that ran the other week, or we thought it was? Oh, Clove. That's right. QuantumScape. Yeah, Clove down to that 37% again. It's still pretty high. Not to be confused at all. Yeah, 15% on QuantumScape. Let's do an IPOE here. What else you got? Marathon and Ryan. Ooh, 30% short on IPOE. Are you serious? That's crazy on the SoFi SPAC. That seems very high. Let me just look at it just for what it is. It's at 16. I mean, this thing could easily run back over the 20 range. That's interesting to me. Let me see here. But the problem is calls on these suck. Oh, you do have a lot of open interest in these. That's actually not bad. IPOE at 16. You get some 10 buckies here. Pricing's obviously up a bit today, but that is interesting. I wouldn't mind throwing a little bit on these guys. I don't know. What do we want to throw into IPOE? I'm gonna do a little bit here. No, let's do like 40. Yeah, I'll get some 40 calls on IPOE. I like that. Okay, 40 calls for January 22. All right. So give me 1 second here. Yeah, but that's interesting to me. So 30%. That seems it's almost like you got, because remember Chamath had an article in Bloomberg where they basically bagged the crap out of his SPACs. Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay. So, okay, what else do we have? I think we're within 30 seconds of the bell here, so I don't think we're going to be able to do many more. And OEG, I'll do that really quick. OEG and IPOF. We are OEG's at 1.68 and IPOF, and then we got to hit the bell. Is nothing, like 0.96. Here we go, bell.
At least 1% for the S&P 500, for the NASDAQ, not as much for the Dow. And if you look at the week to date, we're pretty much flat here for the S&P 500, which does break a win streak. The last 4 weeks, we have seen gains for the S&P. We're lower overall, but not by too much, considering some of the headwinds, including that capital gains scare from the Biden administration. Reports of it yesterday. Dow finishing higher, 226 points.
Pretty much flat for the week, but negative for all three of the major averages for the week as a whole, but over 1% of gains for the S&P in today's session. Welcome to the Closing Bell, everyone. I'm Wilfred Frost, along with Sarah Eisen. As just mentioned, the Dow closing up by 227 points, or 0.7%, but off its highs about half an hour earlier of 341 points. The S&P at 1.1%, the NASDAQ at 1.5%. All three of those indices, though, lower by less than 0.5% for the week as a whole. Today, financials and materials and tech were all up around about 1.5%. Two sectors lower, utilities and staples. Coming up, former Fed Vice Chair Alan Blinder on how fears of higher corporate and capital gains taxes could hit your investments and the economy. Plus, J&J shares closing higher ahead of the CDC advisory panel's decision on its COVID vaccine pause. We'll bring you that out.
All right, let's go ahead and jump on over and see how the market closed. I see somebody's asking about MUDS. MUDS has no short interest. Remember how I said ask me about companies that would be highly shorted? It's like 0.02%. It's nothing on MUDS. So I can't get to all of them. But yeah, no, I was looking for ones that are highly shorted. So let's see how the days ended up here. So let's see here. We will pull up the aftermarket as well. Let's see what's going on. Zoom in a little bit on after hours charting. We are almost at 24 cents on Doge. Mind Medicine, 61.9% for the day. This could still adjust a little bit here since it's an OTC. Usually there's a little bit of a delay in when Webull shows these. You got Microvision up 36, coming down about 1% in the after hours roughly right now, though that's going to fluctuate. You got UAVS came out of nowhere, up 17.61% on the day. It's just really, wow, that really feel like it. Oh, wait, it's not on the watch list. That's why. UAVS kicked butt today. Arrival also kicked butt, up 13%. ChargePoint up 10.42% on ChargePoint. Playboy up 12.19%. NGA 11%. really big move back on the SPACs. Congratulations if you ended up buying during the rough periods that we had here. Clever up 8.73, Fuel Cell 9.68, Chivo up 9.21, XL Fleets up 6, Desktop Metals. We did a fundamental, sort of an overview fundamental analysis on Desktop Metals this morning in the course member live stream. If you're curious about those, the Stocks and Psychology of Money group in the morning live streams. If somebody has a stock suggestion, rather than just looking at the ticker and going, I like it, I don't like it, we try to do some fundamental analysis if you provide a little bit of your thesis. Boozy, 5.71%. Plug Power, 5.58%. Riot, 5.45%. Oh, and obviously you also see a history of all my buys and sells. So that way, when I do buys, like earlier today, I did a buy, not during a live stream, not during a public live stream, you'll see all those as well. QuantumScape, 5.3%. You've got 5.4% on Riot. Big Digital, very good food. Restoration Hardware up 5% as well. Yeah, look at that. You got the airlines and Restoration Hardware up, mixed in here with the SPACs moving up. Matterport, almost a full 5% there. Same with TTCF. Churchill Capital, 4.5%, losing about 0.25% in the afters. Got Pinterest, did a nice 4% today. Neo, Enphase, both around that 4% level. Enphase a little bit less. Voyager Digital had a weird day. It started out red with some of these others and ended up positive here, 3.29% on Pinterest. Ubiquity, Fastly, Twilio, EXPI, Roblox, and so on. Yeah, keep in mind, if you would be interested in a weird, or not weird, like a Village Rust style game with just anybody who wants to be there, go to metkevin.com/discord and turn on notifications. If I do it, I'll send a notification tonight, and you're welcome to come. If we do it, maybe this weekend, I don't know, but go to metkevin.com/discord and join them. Okay, moving on. So Norwegian Cruise Lines up 2.7%. Golden Nugget, Zoom, these guys all kind of sitting in the middle here. Palantir in the middle. Etsy's got the 2%. There's IPOE. Oh, what a bummer. IPOE goes down 0.5% right away in the after hours. Classic. That's okay though. It's $16 relative to the research that I've done on IPOE. Still relatively cheap for me. I'm happy with that. Tesla, 1.35%. And we did get the Januaries on purpose there to give a little bit more time for IPOE, so fine. So Tesla at, up 1.35%, pretty much flat in the after hours here. Rocket Mortgage, really rubber banded here to the 22 level, kind of boring. Hyliion barely up today. These are barely green today. So let's go to the losers. Really, you just have Arcturus and Intel losing 5 and 6% here. Cheesecake down 2%. Nat Beverage is down a little bit. Coinbase ended at 291. After hours, it's about 292. Peloton ended down 0.4%, much better than that 1 and a bit it was down earlier today. So it did have a little bit of a recovery. So let's take a peek here. See what the CNBC is talking about and some of the others.
A rally there and a failure might be a commentary that liquidity conditions are actually tightening or that risk appetite's coming out of this market. So I look at it from that perspective. What is Bitcoin telling us about risk appetite and liquidity?
Down 17% in the last week. Courtney, we know you like Coinbase and you bought that today, but it sounds like overall you're getting a little more cautious. Are you trimming positions? If so, what and why?
Well, it's really interesting there. You think about where we were last year, this time, I think my sound is off again.
No, your sound's fine. We'll go to Fox while you figure it out. There you go.
I was just going to say, that's Bernie's favorite spot. You're exactly right. I hope I did justice to your op-ed piece this morning. And, Bjorn, in bite-sized chunks, tell us why you believe the Biden plan is unworkable.
So, look, Biden is basically promising twice as much reduction as what Obama did. That's not only going to be incredibly hard to do, and as you mentioned, it's going to cause a lot of hardship in a lot of different ways. It's also going to be fantastically expensive. So you were mentioning $1,200. Biden has actually promised he's going to spend $1,500 per person per year on climate. And as you mentioned, surveys show that people are not even willing to spend $24 on it. That sets it up for not working out in the long run. But even if he were to actually succeed, and remember, he won't be president in 2030, there'll at least be one other president in between. But even if that person then follows through and cuts these emissions, and all the presidents for the next 70 years does so, it will reduce temperatures trivially, as you mentioned, 0.07 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is through the UN climate model. So it's going to be very hard, it's going to be very costly, it'll have virtually no impact. And the reason, as you also very eloquently put, is because China, India, Africa, Latin America, they're not going to play ball because honestly, they have other and more important things to focus on, like pulling their populations out of poverty. So the reality here is to recognize you're not going to solve global warming by simply making grand promises that you can't afford.
All right, let's go ahead and pull. I'm going to go jump on over here to the Bloomberg live here really quick. We're touching on Bitcoin over here. Let's listen in on their Bitcoin arguments.
All right, that's going to do it for our cross-platform
Okay.
coverage on Bloomberg Radio, Bloomberg TV, and on YouTube. We'll see.
Never mind then. Fine. We'll go back on over to the CNBC.
About expectations as we move forward.
Netflix, by the way, closing down again today, bucking the overall trend higher for tech and the market. Speaking of COVID, a CDC vaccine advisory panel is meeting right now on the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine pause. Meg Terrell with the latest. What can we expect, Meg?
Sarah, it does sound like they are trying to stay on time here. This is expected to conclude around 5 o'clock, so we could get a vote on this updated recommendation within the hour. And what it really sounds like is the panel here is leaning toward recommending unpausing the vaccine and now debating whether they should just do that with a warning attached to it about these very rare clots, or if there should be something specific to women under 50. Now, here are the updated numbers we have. About 8 million doses have been administered of this vaccine in the U.S. before the pause. They now have identified 15 cases of these very rare clots, all among women. These are
I'm going to pull off the vaccine news again. Yes, the link to Discord is metkevin.com/Discord. All right, let's just sort by after hours movements here. There's not much news on the day, but we do have Sundial up 2.4 here in the afters at about 85 cents. Yelp up to Berkshire Hathaway. Wow, we haven't seen them on the chart in a while. Up 2% here, mostly because they don't fluctuate so terribly. Although let's take a peek at how they've been kind of performing here. So really interesting. Last month they've been doing very well, but it looks like they may have gotten caught up there in the end of February sell-off as well. Yeah, gosh, I remember when this was like $260,000. Now it's at $408,000. Jeez. So where's Berkshire? Oh, okay, went down to 239 was during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic. But 263 before that. Golly, that was back in 2017. That's amazing. Berkshire Hathaway. You know how many times they ask Warren Buffett to split that stock, and he's like, "No, just go buy the Class B shares. If you want the Class A, you're paying $400,000 per share." So weird. Yeah. All right. What else? Fastly's up. Look at that. Why is Fastly all of a sudden up? What happened? What's going on at Fastly? Let's figure it out. Fastly. Research highlights. No, just research. I don't see any particular reason why. Somebody just did a big buy here after hours on Fastly. It's up 6.7%. Who knows? Maybe it was a fund. Who knows? That's definitely a nice volume buy here that was entered. No, then again, you don't really see that volume either. There's no big volume spike there. Weird. All right, so what else here? What else? Let's see. All right, let's see. What's losing in the after hours? After hours loser. Microvision doing a little bit of a profit taking here on micro, but not much. 2.5%, something like that. Not a surprise, but that can happen. What else do we have? 1.7 on NGA. Solo down 1. Etsy down 0.75%. Where's our fave? The fave of the YouTube. How's Tesla doing? Tesla's flat in the afters. Yeah. All right, well, now we got to sit around, do nothing for the weekend. It's gonna be boring. So we could chat in the course though. If you're in the courses, tag me. You get priority replies from Kevin over the weekend. So check out the courses. Link down below with that expiring coupon code coming up at the end of this month. You can use that code down below. It's to the moon. Check out the courses. Feel free to bundle them. If you have questions, feel free to email. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye.